Morning everyone, how are you doing? Hope you're good. Welcome to today's vlog. Firstly, thank you to all my new subscribers and to my regular subscribers. I'm now over the 500 mark. Is that good? I think it is, isn't it? And thank you for all your comments, most of which are very encouraging, very nice. They keep to the point of the particular video, and yeah, you do get the occasional bad or odd comment that you've got to put up with that, I suppose. Some, or one in particular, is very rude and personal. He's attacking me personally. He told me to be more professional. I mean, I could show you the comment. He says that I've blocked them. I don't block them, mate. YouTube blocked them. YouTube stopped them from going on because they're abusive and they're personal. A personal attack on me. They withhold them for review and allow me to look at them and decide whether or not I deem it right to put them on, which I'm not going to, because it's pathetic to read. You told me to be more professional. I mean, come on, mate. If I showed the comment, it will just show how unprofessional you are. He first started off by saying he's going to report every video I make. Well, fill your boots, mate. I don't know what you're going to report them for, but that's up to you. He's also attacking my personal hygiene. Things like showering, for example. Are you the type of bloke who doesn't shower? Mate, I have a shower once every 2 months, whether I need it or not. Personal attacks on my son. My son's got tattoos on his neck. He would never be a professional. He would never be a doctor or something. He's not a doctor, mate. He's a plumber. It doesn't say on the application must not have tattoos to become a plumber. Whether you've got a tattoo on your neck, your head, your arse, or wherever, it doesn't matter. He's a plumber. He's a professional, and he's very good at what he does. And he probably earns more money than what you do. So don't say personal. I mean, be a man and put yourself there. Put yourself up where I am and show yourself. Say it to me say it to my face. I mean, if not, I'll either ignore. I won't delete them, but I'll just ignore them because they're that pathetic. They're not even worth showing. So grow up, mate. Just grow up. And he says I'm also very annoying. He puts that on a comment within a comment. I'm very annoying. If I'm that annoying, pal, don't watch. It's simple. Go and watch something else. Go and watch a film. You know what I mean? And you know what I'm talking about. Get my drift. Anyway, I'm not going to go on any more about him. I mean, unless you want me to show some of the comments he's made, I ain't going to bother. Just let him do what he's got to do. So the purpose of today's vlog is driving in the Philippines. The requirements to drive in the Philippines are quite straightforward. If you come here, up to 90 days, you can use your own full national driving licence, which is one of them, and you can drive a vehicle within the categories that are on, which state on that licence. After 90 days, you can upgrade it or transfer it to a Philippine driving licence. The requirements I will go into a little bit later. Alternatively, you can obtain or avail, as they like to say here, one of these, which is an international driving permit. Now, the international driving permit from the UK in particular, I would imagine that every single country has the same form. They're all the same format, and each foreigner that comes here can obtain their own version of the international driving permit, as I'm reading here. The UK do two versions. One is the 1949 convention, which is valid for 1 year and it is accepted in the Philippines according to this official website. I'm looking at it now. And the other one is the 1968 convention, the Vienna Convention, which has been upgraded. It was upgraded in 2011, I think. And that is also valid here, when it's valid for 3 years. And it says here that you can drive on an international driving permit here within the dates stated on that licence, but you must carry your own country's licence as well to back it up. So this is just reflecting what's on your driving licence. And as I said, it's valid for 3 years. Now, there is some conflicting opinions on some sites that says that you can only use the international driving permit is only valid for as long as your British driving licence is valid for here, which is 90 days. Well, this is contradicting that. It's actually saying that you can use this IDP. Well, failing that, it does advise, failing that, you can upgrade it to a Philippine driving licence via the LTO, the Land Transportation Office, the local transportation office here in the Philippines, the process of which takes bloody ages. It says here 5 hours and 30 minutes from when you walk into the door or when you walk out. There is a shortage of, you know, you have these photo cards now. Well, they do that here as well, but there's a shortage of the cards, so the process takes a lot longer. I've been told it takes 3 months. In that case, what would you do if you went to apply for one and you had to wait 3 months for the licence to turn up? Do they give you a piece of paper to state that you've applied for it and paid for it? I don't know. I haven't got that far yet. You do get stopped here. They do set up checkpoints here. The police occasionally, more often than not over the last few weeks, will put up checkpoint Charlies, I call them, so they will stop anybody, mainly on bikes, motorbikes, and ask to see your driving licence. Now, I have been told by one police officer, or asked, he wanted to see my driving licence, which I showed him, and he said to me that this is only valid for 90 days. So if you carry your passport with you, it will show the stamp when you arrived into the country on your passport. So if there's any argument about when you arrived and is it still within the 90 days, just show them your passport. So carry your 2 licences and your passport every time you jump on a bike or get in a car and drive around here, because you'll need them, and you will get stopped because they do target foreigners, because believe it or not, there are a lot of foreigners here that drive without a driving licence at all. They do drive here, and the penalties are quite heavy. In some cases you can be put in jail. Seems a bit extreme, but I'm just warning you, you will get an on-the-spot fine or banned from driving. I don't know how it works, because I almost got a violation, a traffic violation, which luckily I got away with because of my ignorance of the roads. But just be very, very careful. Make sure that you're carrying all the relevant documents. Now, if you're coming on holiday for, let's just say for argument's sake, 3 weeks to a month, it doesn't matter, because you're not going to be here long enough for the 90-day period. But if you're intending on coming here to stay here for a longer period, then you will need to either have one of these alongside your full licence, or upgrade it to a Philippine driving licence. Now, there is a website, and I'm looking at it here, the LTO's website: conversion of foreign driver's licence to Philippine driver's licence, including renewal of expired Philippine driver's licence with a valid foreign driver's licence. And it is, God, how many pages long is it? And it goes through the whole process of what you need in order to obtain one of these. The main ones being, you must be physically and mentally fit to operate a motor vehicle. Not too sure if I passed the second bit, but you must be able to read and write in English. Yeah, just about. Filipino or any major dialect, must be a holder of a valid foreign driver's licence. In the case of an expired foreign driver's licence, the applicant must have passed a theory and practical driving test. So if you don't have a licence at all, you have to take a theory and a practical driving test. And you must also not have any unsettled, i.e. violations that you haven't paid yet. So you've got to have a clean record. You must have passed a practical examination from countries operating right-hand drive vehicles. So I don't know whether because we drive right-hand drive vehicles that we have to take one of these practical examinations. I'm not sure, but it says it here, so I suppose you must do. And you must have a valid visa for at least 120 days upon the date of arrival. Now, there's a little bit of a problem with that, because the last time I was down the immigration, they told me that I can't extend my visa to the 6 months. I've got to do it in increments of 2 months only. You cannot extend for 6 months. I don't know, I might be wrong, but that's straight from the horse's mouth, as it were. The Bureau of Immigration in Vegan City here told me that you can't extend to 6 months. It's got to be in increments of 6, and you must have an alien certificate of registration card, which I have, which is up for renewal this month. So I'm not too sure about that either. So if anyone knows the answer to that question, then you can tell me, because I'm not sure. And then it goes on all the way down the process, and it just goes on. I'm scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, and you get down to the bottom and it says it's a walk-in thing, and it takes 5 hours 30 minutes from the time you walk in to the LTO to the time you walk out. Whether or not you'll walk out with a license was a doubt, because they haven't got the cards in which to print them. I don't know, but that's the situation. So yes, you can drive up to 90 days on your British national license or other countries' national license, or you can use your international driving permit according to this website. Now, if any of you know any different, let us know, because it's important, because there are, believe it or not, a lot of people that do not know these. And I'm not trying to tell you guys that know the situation, that know the rules here. I'm aiming this at people that do not know, so we can all help the people that do not know what the process is in order to drive here. I do know that the rental, I've rented a car a couple of times, and I do know that the rental company asks to see this and this. I keep showing him a wallet, but you know what's inside, my license, all right? They need to see them both, and they need to see the dates, and they actually put that down on the form for insurance purposes and all sorts of stuff. But the fact that they've let me hire a car using this sort of like makes this more valid, this site that I'm looking at. As I said, this is the official LTO website. So if you're any doubt, go on the official LTO website of the Philippines, and it will give you all the information that you require. And now, as far as driving here in the Philippines, trust me, it's nothing. Let me just give you that website. It's Land Transportation Office, lto.gov.ph, lto.gov.ph. Go on there and have a read up, and it'll tell you. Going back to the driving here, there's nothing like driving in the UK, I can assure you. We have to abide by strict rules and regulations, road traffic acts and all sorts over there. T-junctions, going through traffic lights, speeding, stuff like that, drink driving, obvious ones. Here, there ain't no rules. Well, there doesn't seem to be any rules. And although it says there's driving schools and you've got to pass a theory and a practical, I'm doubting very much whether the majority of people have been through that process. Might be wrong. It might be the reason why when you do get to a checkpoint, Charlie, where the police are stopping people, there's a massive queue of bikes 100 metres before the checkpoint waiting for them to finish up and sod off so they can carry on. They just sit there and wait because they're not allowed to drive, unlicensed, or they don't have registration documents. But as far as the safety aspect of driving, it's a minefield here. It seems to me that the age of driving, from when you get out of your nappies, you can drive a motorbike or these electric scooters with no crash helmet. I mean, the amount of times that I've seen kids that can't be any older than 9, 10 years old, and I'm being serious, 9 or 10 years old, with a pillion and a little kid sitting on the front, so 3 of them on a bike, no helmets, driving on a main road don't know what they're doing. They really don't know what they're doing, and they cause a lot of accidents. And as a foreigner, if you're involved in an accident, whoever's fault you think it is, it won't be. It will be your fault. It's your job to avoid an accident. And I take my wife to work every day, to and from, every day. And it's a 15-minute at most drive. And you would not believe some of the manoeuvres that I have to encounter. People pulling out onto the main road, T-junctions. You could be 10 yards from the T-junction. They don't look, they just pull out. They don't care, they'll pull out. And if they pull out, you've got to avoid them. And you either avoid them by braking sharply or overtaking them, which a lot of the time you can't because there's traffic coming the other way. You've got to try and avoid them, and you try and give yourself a bit of safe distance between you and the vehicle in front is nigh on impossible, because if you do that, they'll all come from behind you, undertaking, overtaking, and fill that gap. And they don't care if they cut you up, doesn't matter to them. They're tunnel vision. They're going where they're going, and it doesn't matter. If you're in the way, you get out of the way or you avoid it. The rule of thumb is if you're on a bike, the best way to avoid an incident is to accelerate out of it. Well, it ain't going to happen here. You accelerate out of it and you'll be accelerated straight in the front of an oncoming lorry, and you're finished, and it'll be your fault because you didn't avoid somebody doing something wrong. Trust me, there's no road rage here. It doesn't work here. You can't wind your window down and shout and scream at them. It doesn't work. Just look at you and say, well, it's your fault. You shouldn't have been there. They are trying to ban electric vehicles, scooters up to these little golf buggies, we call them here, because they are cause of a lot of accidents. For some reason, they just think that they've got the entitlement that they're on the road and nobody else is allowed on the road. And I will do what I want to do. I will pull out in front of oncoming traffic. Doesn't matter how fast you're going. I mean, I try to keep within a sort of like a 40 km/h speed limit, and I will slow down even more. It's not fast, I'll slow down, but it's just, in some cases it's too fast. But when I'm going past things like schools and stuff like that, I'll always slow down, but they just keep going past you. It's very, very, very difficult to drive here. To be fair, I haven't seen half as many accidents here as I would do in the UK, because they all know their set of rules. They know how it works. For example, if you're driving down on your side of the road and there's oncoming traffic and they want to overtake a slower vehicle, they don't care if you've got your own lane. They'll just pull over into it and head straight for you. And it's your job to get out of their way. It's not their job to wait until the road's clear in front before you overtake. Nah, doesn't work. They'll just overtake. And if you're in the way, you've got to get out of the way. And it's no good going like that. I mean, I'm guilty of it sometimes, but it's no good doing it because it just doesn't wash. So not only have you got to look at your driving, personally your driving, but you've got to watch out for all sorts of obstacles. You know, cars that will just stop for no apparent reason, just stop right in the middle of the road, and then they'll let somebody out into oncoming traffic. It's amazing. Kids getting out of tricycles on one side of the road and the school's on the other side of the road. They don't look, they'll just get off the trike and they'll run straight in front of you. There seems to be no sense of safety here. But it's how it works, and you've got to adapt to it. If you don't adapt to it, don't bother driving. Really, seriously, don't bother driving. You've got to learn to be so patient. You've got to watch what you're doing. And the amount of times that I've nearly come a cropper every day, going to and from, taking a wife to and from work, because it's the height of the traffic, it's the rush hour when I take her in and out, and it's a nightmare. I mean, it's after me, you're first. You know, if you're coming up to a junction, a crossroads, for example, they don't care. They just go straight across. It won't stop. There's no lines on the road. And they're just blinkered, and they'll just go for it. And if you're in the way, you're history. So there's a warning for you. Not only the requirements of driving, but the safety aspects of driving here is a bloody minefield, and you've got to get used to it, and you've got to be so careful. Trust me, the people that have been here, and I've seen vlogs and a particular highlight driving in the Philippines, and some of the incidences for me are normal because I see it every day, but for the likes of you that are coming here that see them, it's unbelievable. You've just got to be really, really careful. So really that's about today's vlog. If you've got any input form, make some comments and like and subscribe. I'd like to push the channel on a little bit further, but I haven't been on for a couple of weeks, and it's slowed down a bit, but just like, subscribe, make some comments, and if I've made a mistake, tell me. That's what it's for. It's like we're all in it to help people that don't know. And for those of you who want to make derogatory comments and personal attacks on me, bring it on. I don't really care. But if YouTube block it, don't blame me for blocking it. It's because you're making a comment that they deem unfit. And like I said, the algorithm, like comments, it boosts your channel apparently. Algorithm, schmalgorithm, whatever. They keep changing the goalposts on that, so I've been told. It's just hit or miss. I mean, I've seen videos that get 10, 20,000 views, within like a couple of days. I'm lucky to get 10 or 20 views within a couple of days, but I'm just trying to build my channel, and I'll keep going. I'll just keep plugging away, and we'll see how we go. I mean, I did promise you a little while ago that I'm going to be doing a video of good friends of mine. They're building a house here, and the process of them going through building a house, which will make for very interesting viewing. And for those of you who are thinking of coming out and building, it will be very, very helpful to you. The guy's doing everything by the book and correct. Really nice bloke, English fella, Steve, and his friend Brandon. They both got their own channels. I mentioned Brandon and his channel before. Brandon sort of like mainly helps out with he knows where to get the materials and stuff from, but they're working together to build Steve's house, and the progress is very good. I mean, it might be held up a little bit with the weather at the moment, but he's got a good team of builders there, and I'd like you to see that. And we'll interview Steve shortly, and then he'll talk you through his process. So we're gonna, what they call that, collaborate. He doesn't have time to do a vlog, is his words. I ain't got the time. I'm too busy building my house. Well, I think you'll be interested in seeing what the process is. It might be very helpful. In fact, it will be very helpful to you all if that's what you're thinking of doing. So hopefully this week we'll do our first one, and we'll see how we go from there. So in the meantime, thank you very much for watching. Like and subscribe, as I keep telling you. I might be able to buy me bleating car. If you don't want to watch me, don't. And watch a fishing video or something. I don't know. Do whatever you do while you're hiding behind one of these. They call them keyboard warriors, don't they? Those people. Anyway, be lucky. Stay dry. Drink plenty of water. You still need to drink plenty of water. And keep smiling. And I'll see you on the next one.